views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
To all of our local, regional and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. My dear friends, a very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to empower, we continue to reach out and transform lives. I invite you to sit back, relax, enjoy, get your pen, get your notebook, Real TV, so you can take notes on important numbers that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. To all of the children who are viewing, I wish you all a beautiful day today. Enjoy yourselves, have fun, but I ask you to set aside some time today to do a little revision, a little reading, learn a new word. Do something that will enhance you, all right? Put aside that time, dedicate that time to do a little revision. It's important, all right? But I want you to enjoy your holidays as well, but it's about balance, all right? And of course, directing this morning and in Master Control, Nathaniel Reed. On behalf of the team, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a beautiful, blessed, productive and great day today. Happy Tuesday, my friends. It's Tuesday, the 14th of July, 2026. It is a day and time we'll never have the opportunity to ever have again in life. So don't procrastinate, don't waste your time. Do something productive and constructive. Use your time wisely, all right? We are going to send out some birthday greetings to a dynamic lady. I'm speaking of Ingrid Dwaraka of Shagonas, Montrose Shagonas. That is her beautiful family. Of course, the father of her children, her three handsome boys, who are Darren, Stefan, and Stephen. Darren is part of our sales team, dynamic young man. So we always say that the apple will not fall far from the tree, a good reflection. And Mrs. Ingrid Dwaraka, I want to say to you that I really want to congratulate you today, not just say happy birthday, but for really instilling the right morals and values into Darren. He really is a fine young man. So that says a lot about the upbringing and the solid foundation. But it's your day today, Ingrid. Happy birthday. God's choicest blessings. May all of your dreams and all of your desires be fulfilled. Greetings coming from your dear family, your loved ones, and your family here at Real TV. Have a great day. Enjoy. Have some cake for me. All right. Let's quickly go to our quote for today, please. And our quote says, to accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. All right? To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. It's about the power of believing and knowing that you can do it, the power of your mind. All right? Thank you so much for that, Nathaniel. That came to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. Let's go to the ad.
Looking for something truly unique this season? Then you need to visit Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shagonas. Brand new containers have just arrived, packed with one-of-a-kind garments you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're shopping for something stylish, traditional, or custom-made, we've got you covered with made-to-order pieces tailored just for you. And it doesn't stop there. Take a stroll through our full food court, offering delicious options for the entire family. From savory bites to sweet treats, there's something for everyone. Plus, don't miss our big sale on furniture. Upgrade your home with beautiful pieces at unbeatable prices. So come on down to the Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shagonas, where culture, style, and savings come together.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. To all of our local, regional and international viewers, all those of you on the Tego app, remember to download it And you know, the beauty is that you can download it on your device and take it with you anywhere you go. Look at Real TV, real time, and you know, gain knowledge. Knowledge is power from all of our programs across the board. And of course, for those of you in Canada on the Caribbean, Showtime Television, thanks a lot for allowing us into your space to influence you in a positive way. And to the 3 million and growing viewers, you guys made it possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I invite you and I ask you, knowledge is power. Please like and share because it's great information. Speaking of information, today I'm in conversation with a lady who is a tower of strength, the wind beneath many wings when it comes to educating and instilling values. I'm speaking of no other than Meera Maraj. She's a mental wellness coach and educator. And today we're going to be talking about the home schooling mother who coaches emotional literacy, living the work. She's actually living what she's doing, yeah? Good morning and a warm welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. In terms of career, let's understand some of your strengths and some of the work that you do.
I've always been teaching since secondary school, for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And I've ventured in many different fields, but always came back to the teaching side of things. And I've always wondered, you know, I ended up in, you know, studying psychology and learning because I have significant trauma that I wanted to work through. And so it led me to the space of how do we really heal? And it became even more urgent when I had my daughter because, you know, I didn't want to pass on that trauma, generational trauma to her.
Yeah.
So in that process of learning for myself and finding so many modalities that work, because it's not only just, you know, from talk therapy and psychology, but understanding the body and a holistic space of how we heal, it made me want to share with everybody that it's such an easy thing. It could be such an easy thing if we had the right tools and skills.
And as the quote said, the power of your mind. The first thing I think is identifying your weakness or where the problem is. You know, identifying, taking accountability and
Yes.
understanding there is a problem and it has to be fixed. I like the fact that, you know, when you had your daughter, you realize this is not going to be passed on to her. She is not going to, I'm going to break that chain. And that is identifying that there is a problem, but more importantly, working towards fixing it.
Yes.
Finding the solution. Some of us know the solution, we find it, but do we really apply it? You live it now.
Yes.
And that's the beauty. That is what sets you apart. The beauty is people don't realize that when you have a child, you think differently, you behave differently, you see the world in a different light. It is, yes, we give birth to our children,
Yes.
but the truth is they also give birth to a new us.
They do, absolutely.
We're
'cause
never the same.
Never,
You know,
never.
I think for most parents that I speak with or I have conversations is that we always want our children to excel and we want what is best for them. And so we cut ourselves short at times.
We do.
To ensure that, you know, everything is okay with them.
I think like we always put them above us, and that's how it's supposed to be, right? And there's an urgency that comes with becoming a parent, because I think the minute you have your kid, you realize you're responsible for everything.
A whole new life.
Yeah.
And it's not just for a season, it's for a lifetime.
Lifetime.
And I think a lot of people need to recognize that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if your child is 5 months, 5 years, 15, 20, 50, 60, they're your children for life.
They will always be yours.
Yeah. And they will always be perhaps an example or reflection of the parent. Yeah?
Yeah.
You got getting into psychology, understanding, breaking the chain of where you felt maybe it was your weakness and that situation got the better of you, but you've decided within yourself, I'm going to cut it, I am going to break it. And this is our message to our viewers out there. We have the control of making the decisions to put a full stop.
Yeah. We do.
To know when to close that door, to know when to open another one. We have the power.
And we can be scared of it. Many of us are very scared.
Well, the thing is, we are scared because of the unknown.
Yes.
So you know, you need to take that plunger, you know you need to, but because of the fear and scare.
Yeah.
But I think if you invite God or you are God-fearing,
Yeah.
then you release those things and you let it be.
A higher power does help because, you surrender in a bigger way. And I think, the fear comes from, there's something that, read while I was learning my stuff, that we will choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. And this is what happens to us quite often because of that fear, because we don't know it. We don't know what it means to heal or what it means to be something different. If everybody's doing the same thing, being different can be, difficult. And, you're going to get pushed against because it's not the norm. I've received a lot of that, especially with the homeschooling. And, but, being steadfast with that makes a difference.
Why did you decide to homeschool and not put her, because others will question, including myself.
Yes.
I'm going to be very honest with you. I did explore the option of homeschooling because I met some fantastic people who homeschool their kids, and those children, they had me in awe of the way they speak, the way they carry themselves, the intelligence. And I would say I did think about exploring that option.
Yeah.
But I felt in order to strike a balance, I felt that interaction with other children was important. The essence of going to school, of having that experience, of having that, you follow what I'm saying?
And that's usually the
people
first
will
place.
question
Yeah.
that. The interaction, how is that child going to develop it? You follow, especially when that child is a single child, like you
Yes.
and like my child. So I opted for no. I think you need to be in a place where you could play, where you could interact, where you could have conversations,
And that's
where
fair.
you could be yourself, where you could run wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do, because
And
it's like, socialization is the first question most people,
Right.
come at because of what we are accustomed to.
So why did you choose?
Well, I loved school actually. School was my safe space because my home wasn't always the safest. But my kid, you have to know your children. And we did try preschool right before the pandemic. And while she likes being around kids and play, and she's like, do I have to go there every day? She likes, the freedom, and children are, they like to move. And sometimes a classroom setting can be restrictive to them. And so because of her learning style and how she was, I decided to teach her and keep her
Have that one-on-one.
one-on-one. And with the socialization, you can get a lot of that. She's not, with homeschooling children actually, they're better able to socialize outside of their age group. So she grew up with me with work, and, we had lots of play dates. We still do have lots of play dates, and there are a lot of homeschooling co-ops within the country as well.
Yeah, you strike a balance.
Yeah.
And extracurricular activities and things like that. Like we have 5 fingers, I always say, no two people are the same. We're different, and we have to respect that.
Of course.
So with regards to you as a mother, single mother, making that choice and taking that responsibility is not an easy decision,
No.
as it may seem, because people may say, well, when you homeschool, well, you do even need to wear a uniform. You don't need to get up in the morning and rush. You could do things on your time.
Right.
You don't have to think about the traffic every day, all the negative things that
come with it.
bombarded with constantly. The little fights or the disruptions in school or things like that.
Yeah.
So this was your choice, and we respect that. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Parents, I am in conversation with Meera Maraj, mental wellness coach. She's a mental wellness coach and an educator, and she's taking the choice. She took the choice to homeschool her daughter, and talking to us about that choice and what sets that apart, what makes that different. Let's go to these messages. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people, senior citizens, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite you to look at the program Inspired on Real TV at 2 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Inspired is designed to lift your spirits, to help you overcome depression and failure so you could be an outstanding, extraordinary success. We have special experts every Wednesday who will inspire you to do better, to be your best self. So may God bless you. And remember, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., please look out for the program Inspire.
Behind every mistake, there's a person. And behind every struggle, there's a story waiting to be told. This is Redemption, a road to rehabilitation and recovery, where honesty meets hope and change begins. I am Prem Badri. I was a part of the problem, and now I want to be part of the solution. So join me on Real TV every Thursday at 6 p.m. See you there.
Join us on Real TV for Highlights with Alan Ferguson, a program where we aim to level the playing field through meaningful conversation and real action. We highlight the positive developments happening within communities across Trinidad and Tobago, while also addressing the concerns and challenges affecting government agencies and everyday citizens. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m., only on Real TV.
3.2 million ways to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for giving us 3.2 million views on Real TV. Don't miss the action. Don't miss a beat. Make sure and follow us on every social media platform. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Even follow us on YouTube. Click that subscribe button. And of course, download the Tego app so that you carry us wherever you are. 3.2 million views and we're going higher. Make sure and be a part of the realest of all reels, Real TV.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional and international viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us, allowing us to share knowledge, information. And when you have good information, it means you have knowledge and you could now explore options. You now think outside of the box. You make better choices, and when we make better choices, we all embrace a better tomorrow. Today I'm in conversation with a mother, and that is Meera Murad. She's a mental wellness coach. She's a coach and an educator. And she's taken the decision to homeschool her daughter. She's a single parent, and today she's going to share that journey and the experiences that she has on a daily basis, choosing to homeschool rather traditional going to school. Welcome back. I think a lot of people will ask with regards to the curriculum, if you follow that and how does it work. So I think for the benefit of our viewers, including myself, I'd like to find out a little bit. Can you share with us what a day is like for your daughter and yourself?
Sure. So the nice thing about homeschooling and what I love is that, she wakes up when she's ready to wake up. She doesn't have to, she gets to listen to her body, and that's something that, is a big problem. And so she wakes up when she's, ready to get up. We go to sleep at a decent hour.
Right.
But there's no rush. When she gets up, she has her routine to, brush teeth and get dressed and that kind of thing. And I don't have to direct her. She knows what she has to do. So she will relax a bit, read a little. I will organize breakfast. And then, we go from there. And it's not rigid at all, because it's not school at home. It's learning in a different kind of way. So she helps with breakfast and she learns in that way as well. It's life skills as well as educational skills.
Nice.
And we do follow the national curriculum for Trinidad. We are required to do that when you're
right.
homeschooling.
Yeah.
So that is part of it, and we build out a schedule, and we kind of follow what her interests are. She loves art, so art is always part of
So
the day.
there's no schedule as to math time, English time?
There is a schedule.
Okay.
So, but every day we do different subjects. So, once with kids, once you focus on the main parts, like once they can read and write, then they kind of can teach themselves as well. Education is not as complex as we think. So, but we have time where I have my schedule and what topics we're covering for the week. But it's not rigid in terms of we have to start at 8 o'clock and this has to be done. Or we take breaks, every 15 minutes because that's the time that, their focus is good. So I work within her focus.
You take a break every 15 minutes?
So we learn something, we make sure she gets it, and then she goes off to play or do something else and come back. So it's in and out, it's not sitting down.
It's not like school where you have a
No.
particular time for math.
Everybody does it, different people do it differently, but
Good.
this is how
How
I do
you
it
do it,
based
great,
on,
yeah.
on her. I know my kid and, what she needs. And so that's how I work it with her, because I don't force her past her capacity. Sometimes she goes longer when she gets interested in something, she focuses, she has good focus. But we don't stay too long on one thing. We come back, we review, and we go again.
So how do you determine, in class when they've got tests and things like that in terms of a marking system? How do you balance that?
Right, so I have, my own, I have a mastery matrix that I built out for her. So we have, introduction of a topic, and then when she has a good hold of it, and then mastery. And like I would have, she does like normal tests and that kind of thing, but not any sense of how school is. I make sure that she understands the concept, can answer the questions. When she has issues, we go through them.
What would you grade her right now? Would she be an A, B, C? What sort of student?
She's I don't necessarily like the grading system. So the thing with homeschooling is that they are good in some areas or further ahead. She's supposed to be in standard 3 now, going into standard 4. But like her reading level is like at a 16-year-old. Reading and comprehension is higher. We've already started work on CXC English. So, and maths were like standard 3, 4, 5. I've compressed them into one because the concepts.
So she's ahead, clearly.
Yeah. So she does.
She's ahead.
Yeah.
But not in any format or
No.
when I use the word structure,
Yeah.
because with a normal day,
Yeah.
of course you get up, you have a bath,
Yeah. You do all of
you
those,
do
yeah.
your prayer, all those things, you get ready for school, you get yourself organized, you have breakfast, you're constantly on the go. That's the way it is.
Yeah, that's
Especially-
usually, yeah.
Especially a single parent. You've got to do everything under the sun yourself.
Yeah.
And I was just in conversation before the show started, where I was talking about my daughter, and sometimes you feel, and I'll tell you, that they become more mature because of the responsibilities upon them or the environment that they're in. So you find they may develop faster, they may think differently, they're a little above the average
Yeah.
in the way they speak and things like that. And I
Yeah.
think it's because of circumstances beyond control.
Yeah, that
they-
helps for
yeah,
sure. But like,
you know?
sometimes that can also be a bad thing because
Right.
because of the coaching that I do on mental wellness, when I look at where a lot of the anxiety or all of those mental
That's
issues
how you
come
strike
from,
that balance.
it starts with that chaos in the morning.
It does, because then when you get into that vehicle to commute, whether you're in traffic or not, it all depends on, we have conversations, or we listen to music, or we sing, or we pray. There are things that you do.
But you as a parent, you're setting that tone. So you can have a dysregulated morning. If the parent is dysregulated, the child is going to be that way too. And so what you just described is stuff that kind of helps her get through the chaos of the morning, right?
And then you get in, and you focus every day about focus, do what is right. You have the choice to do what is right.
Right, yeah.
Take control of your day and your time. It's never ending.
It is.
And then they go and they have their day where there is structure with regards to what time, bell ringing, saying prayers, getting in there, what they're going to do, how much minutes, things
Yeah,
like that. They also have, and this is a fact, because now you're dealing with what you may teach your children or your culture in your home may not be what they are exposed
No.
to. And so that is why I always encourage and tell parents, talk to your children, have conversations.
Be, their
know
support.
them, understand how they feel. How was your day? What did you do different? Know who their friends are, know the things. And there is no perfect child.
No.
I think we have to realize
There's no
that we
perfect
don't
parent
live
either.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. We don't live in a bubble. Life is what it is, and it presents itself.
Yeah, and I have to say, right, like there is no judgment on anybody who doesn't do what I do. It is
Yeah.
not possible for everybody.
Yeah,
This life is
exactly.
not for
Yeah.
everybody.
Correct.
And many parents I know who would love to, but don't have the capability
They
to.
can't. They have to work. They have
Yeah,
to pay their
there's-
bills.
there's a lot of
Luckily
stuff.
for you, you've been able to strike that balance.
Thankfully, and I'm grateful for that, to
And
be able to do it, but it is
exactly.
not possible. And like, we joke sometimes that it is the hardest thing to teach your own child, because when they're in a school setting, they would listen to a teacher, but for a parent, you're their safe space. So they'll give you a little more trouble. When they come home from school, don't they let go of all of that, the pressure of the day.
I'll tell you, I believe, and this is me,
Yeah,
after you do a full day of work,
yeah,
especially when you work and you have responsibilities and a duty, right?
Yeah.
And you're responsible for certain things or everything under the sun. And you pick up that child and you go home. I've said it and I will say it again. That is another job
It
that you're
is.
going to do. So, you have to really close that door when you leave everything there.
Yeah.
And you still need to interact with employees. You still need to be on top of things, checks what is happening. Then your day sometimes begins there because
Yeah.
revision, going through projects.
I think
tests,
you all have it harder
it's
than
really
I
very
do, for
difficult
sure.
to balance if you don't have help.
No, it isn't. It isn't
People
easy at
don't
all.
understand how difficult it is. And then you have to make sure that you prepare something that is nutritious and healthy. You have to prepare for the next day lunch and, put in things. It's always about, sometimes you just have no time for even you to breathe.
And you have to, sometimes you carve out that time in the smaller moments because you're always on the go. And I'm a single parent, so, there's always
So
movement.
I hope that daddies and fathers out there recognize and understand, because you do.
Yeah.
Miss Mirage, I'll tell you something. You can be in a marriage. You can be in a relationship. Yes, there is a father in the house. Yes, there's a mother in the house. But one parent is doing everything.
The default parents, and it's usually the mother, unfortunately.
Right.
Our cultural,
She's cooking,
societal
she's
space,
washing,
yeah.
She's cleaning at the same time, trying to iron, multitasking, wearing all these hats. And still need to get up and get herself together, push herself, and go out and do a full day's job. It's not easy.
It isn't. It's a lot.
It's reality. And then there are mothers who struggle 2 and 3 jobs.
Yeah. And this is why we kind of need to, focus more on build community as well, because that helps. We're not necessarily supposed to raise children in isolation in the way that we do. I have a really great community around me that helps, and it's women as well, and we help each other.
That's important.
It
You
is.
see that,
It is.
You see that comfort of knowing you have that support. It is so, you hear the word I use, comforting.
It is comforting.
Because knowing that you have support,
Yeah.
knowing that you have a little time for me time.
And sometimes the anxiety that lives inside of you, you will feel guilty for sitting down or taking that time.
And not only that, I think if you don't separate or you don't strike a balance, your child will get the worst of you.
They will.
Isn't that the
That
truth?
is the truth. Because if you have a certain amount of capacity when you start your day. And, we give our best to strangers or to work, and then our families struggle afterwards. And so this is where emotional literacy comes in, because it's understanding your emotions, having a language for it, being aware of where you're at, and knowing how to respond wisely to them. And that is how children don't learn from you explaining emotions to them. They learn from watching you handle it.
Absolutely true. They absorb, they're like
They do.
sponges. And when you think they are not aware, they don't know what's going on, they know more than you.
Yeah. They pay
do observe,
attention
they
to
pick up.
everything,
You're
everything.
absolutely correct. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, talking about life, talking about real experiences. And of course, feel free to join in on the conversation. All you've got to do is give me a call at 384-7142. send me a message and I'll be more than happy to have you be part of the discussion. Let's go to these important messages. Stay with us.
Let's get straight to the point. I am Dale Edwards, Dale the Voice, and we're going to get straight to the point right here on Real TV. Join me Monday to Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. when we talk the hard truth. We're not beating around the bush. We're getting straight to the point, dealing with real issues, social, politics, and much more. Monday to Friday, the only place to be is right here on Real TV.
I am Walter Stewart, President of the Trinidad and Tobago National Council of Parent-Teacher Associations Incorporated. Join us every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, where we look at NPTA Speaks, National Parent-Teacher Association Speaks, on topical and relevant issues pertaining to parents, teachers, education, and students of Trinidad and Tobago. This, of course, encapsulates local, regional, and international audiences every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Real TV, NPTA Speaks.
In a world full of noise, choose clarity. The Real News digital publication is your choice for important news coverage. From influential figures shaping our nation to a powerful week in review that keeps you informed. The weekly edition is available for download on all of our social media platforms. Smart, sharp, essential. Real News digital publication. Stay informed, stay educated, stay empowered.
3.2 million ways to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for giving us 3.2 million views on Real TV. Don't miss the action. Don't miss a beat. Make sure and follow us on every social media platform. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Even follow us on YouTube. Click that subscribe button. And of course, download the Tego app so that you carry us wherever you are. 3.2 million views and we're going higher. Make sure and be a part of the realest of all reels, Real TV.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional, international viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us, allowing us to add value, influencing you in a positive way, and sharing information that's very important, that's very relevant, that can help you to make better choices and decisions. Today I'm in conversation with a single mother who she's made the decision to homeschool her daughter. She is Meera Maraj. She's a mental wellness coach and an educator. And I believe you're working on something that's dynamic, that's out of the box, that's very innovative, that techniques that parents can take advantage of. And we'll talk about that, because the truth is, whether we homeschool our children or whether they go to school and they're out there, the point is they themselves have feelings. They themselves go through emotions, changes in their life. So whether the ones are at school, whatever situations, they encounter on a daily basis, it teaches them to challenge, to strike a balance, and to deal and cope.
Yeah.
And how to live in the real world, how to be able to communicate all these things, as opposed to a child that is like you. When you explain how your day is like, very relaxed, composed, together, enjoy, you're not rushed, you're not alarmed, you don't have to deal with the the negatives that we're completely bombarded with on a daily basis, different things that we, getting dressed, whether it's raining or things like that, getting to class, all of these things. But we must never forget, regardless of whatever situation our children are in, they've got feelings and they've got emotions and they have to express as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes we wonder, is this my child? But it is. And it's because they're just expressing themselves the way they know best.
Yeah.
Yeah? I want to talk about these techniques that you've developed as a wellness and as a coach.
So I founded the Mara House back in 2024. I've been doing counseling for as long as I can remember, since secondary school. Because of my experiences in life, I've been able to help other people to work through some of the more difficult things.
Yeah.
In coaching and in going through this process with my clients, I have a lot of kids as well who are clients, and just people in the whole, I saw that there were, and even through my own healing journey, there were simple things that could be done to improve your life in a practical way.
All right.
So a lot of the coaching that I do, because coaching is different from therapy, right? It's not the same.
Correct.
And, therapists are wonderful and they help, for serious situations and to heal big things. Coaching is a more practical sort of space that teaches you the skills that you need to navigate, daily life or to get to the future that you want to go to. So I developed something called the Mara Protocol, which, because we need, abbreviations and things to help us, so that we can understand ourselves. So Mara, it stands for M for mapping, then attunement, rhythm, and then agency. The idea of the protocol is nervous system regulation and emotional literacy and relational fluency. It teaches you what is mapping. Mapping is I become aware of myself, awareness of self, what's happening in your body, what's happening with your emotions. When you can understand yourself better, then you can attune. Attunement is being able to be in relation to somebody else, right? What is happening with us? What are your feelings? What are mine? How are we relating to each other?
Yeah.
In understanding me, then understanding us, I can see that we have a rhythm, right? What are routines, rhythms, patterns, like the days that we have? How do those affect us? Mm-hmm. All of these things are pieces which will bring us to agency or sovereignty, being able to make a choice. Instead of reacting, we can respond. So it's various techniques, and there's so many different things, because you can use breathwork, you can use, talk therapy. There are many different things, but understanding these different parts help you to relate to your children better. Because if you can look at yourself in the morning and know, I'm feeling a little bit irritated, and you can stop and you can take a moment and practice some breath work, and bring yourself to calm, then you can respond to your child, because they're having a hard morning too.
So it's really, the dynamics of this is about the art of control.
Yes.
The art of understanding you have two choices in any situation. And I'm talking across the board now.
Yeah.
So it's either you get ruffled,
you
get agitated, you get annoyed, and you have an outburst.
Yes.
Or you stay calm, you count from perhaps 1 to 10, sometimes 1 to 20, get a hold of yourself, be calm, think about what you're going to say and what you're going to do rather than just react.
Yeah, and the techniques are a lot. Yeah, but there's so many techniques, right? And within the protocol, not everything is going to work for everybody. So there are many different techniques that we pull from various modalities where you can understand what is happening with you, and that helps too. Because if you understand that you are in fight or flight in the morning, when you're in this anxious mode, you're up, you're rushing, and you can check yourself to stop or start your morning differently. Many of us don't realize we need sunlight in the morning. The old people would tell us, get up and get that early sun.
Yeah, that early, yes.
That resets your circadian rhythm, and it gets all the chemicals that you need in the morning to have a better start. It will lower your cortisol, all of those things. We don't do that because, again, we're rushing out the door. We're living in the future, and that's where anxiety comes, because we're pelting to get to that point and we're not being present. So the protocol teaches you how to be present. So instead of doing all the time and moving, we're teaching you how to be, because being is what's most important.
Right.
And It's not always the easiest process because we're trained, we've developed in a particular way. But if we can help ourselves and then help our children, think about how they would be wired if they started, you know, in a calm sort of space. They know how to name their emotions, how to manage themselves. It's something I taught my daughter, so she knows when she's feeling overwhelmed and what she needs. And instead of suppressing the emotion, you allow it to happen in a safe container being you as a parent. You hold space for them. And then once it's released, you can move on. When you suppress an emotion, it just keeps building back up. But it actually just takes 90 seconds if you allow it to come through. And you can move and wiggle, and you know, movement is so important for processing emotions, especially for children as well. So learning these things will help you be better at managing your day. And it's not only for parenting, it's for daily life, because we have to relate to people every day. We have to go to work, we have to be, you know, instead of cussing somebody in traffic because they had a bad drive, you know, you respond differently. We'll have less, you know, you think of the world that we would have if we had management over ourselves. Or families, society, community, everything will be different, or could be different if we tried.
I like the fact that take responsibility and accountability.
Yeah.
And understanding who you are and your worth as well.
Yeah.
That's something that's extremely important. A lot of people do not have any understanding of their worth. Worth in the sense, I'm not talking about finances now, I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about you as an individual.
Yeah.
How far you allow people to push your buttons or to take control of your life.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize, I don't deserve this person. I don't deserve that this person speak to me like this, or treat me less than I am with no respect and no regard. And sometimes it happens with parents and children, because that's when parents don't realize the power that they have, you know, in striking balance, you know, because a parent, maybe indirect, I don't know how indirectly, but you damn well know what you're doing when you're choosing one over the other, or making, you know, you're not being honest across the board. You have a little favoritism for this one because of many reasons. You know, but the point is, as parents, you really have to strike a balance, and you really have to keep that control, so you don't cause dispute and animosity, because that's where it starts.
Yeah. And the control comes from, because when we think of control, we usually think of dominating ourselves. Discipline is you know, we do that for children as well. We don't realize that we're oppressing children. They're the first point of oppression, of domination, where we tell them to do what to do and don't ask questions. Children are not little adults. They have their own emotions.
Yeah, you're right.
They have their own
You
feelings.
know, we say, well, I am the parent here, and I am the mother, and I am the father, and I say so because I'm paying the bills.
Yeah. And it's not easy.
And I want what is best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to get that to children, you know, especially in their little mind, or their minds, what they're thinking. You know?
And we can want what's best for them, but we have to pay attention to what they want as well, because I had to throw away everything. I've been teaching for, as I said, since I was a teenager. And everything I knew about teaching, I kind of had to throw away to figure out how she learns. And we don't really pay attention to how children learn and what she wants to do. So she loves art, so I give her more room for art. I try my best not to project onto her what I want, because, I mean, yes, I'm her guide, but I'm not her owner. And
I like that.
I don't think we realize that.
You're her guide, but you're not her owner.
No.
I like that.
It's a blessing to be a parent, and the one thing that I wanted in this life was to be a mother. And
same here.
Yeah, and it took a while, but you know, I have the responsibility of guiding this soul to be her best in what she has come here for, and not what I want to project onto her. I don't want to, like, my unlived life to be projected onto her.
And that's a deep message that you've just shared, because that is a fact. There are parents who did not get to live their dreams or their ambitions, or did not reach their goals, but they expect their children to live it and do it for them. And that is so unfair.
Yeah, and they don't realize that's what they're doing. They're trying to do what's best in their minds. I said every parenting isn't easy. We are all trying to do what's best for children based on what we know. What I'm saying is maybe we can update what we know a little bit to have some more openness, to make room for them in a bigger way. You know, instead of forcing them to go down a path, we can advise them and work with them, because in like my day-to-day with the schedules for homeschooling and that kind of thing, a lot of it is dependent on her and what she wants. So we sit and we discuss, well, you know, and if you kind of follow your child's likes.
But we have to go to a break, and I want to come back to this point. The fact is, I know that you say it's about what she wants and you follow her.
Yeah.
You're guided by her, which I understand. But when she's an adult and she goes into the real world, it's not always about her and what she wants. So you and I will talk about that when we return. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Thanks for choosing us. Let's go to these important messages. Stay with us.
Looking for all your back-to-school essentials? Well, come on down to Keith Muhammad Books and School Supplies, where we have a wide variety of stationery and stencil supplies. We have wide ranges of textbooks on math, science, and even literature. We also are the sole distributors of the Malaysian publisher Mind to Mind, and have bestsellers Sudoku and Word Search. Visit us at our opening hours and feel our warm hospitality. We are located at number 5 Railway Road, San Juan, and WhatsApp us at 777-7341 for more info.
Hello everyone, I am the Reverend Clifford Rawlins, minister of the Diego Martin United Church and a published author. I am inviting you to join me on Real TV for Honest to God, where we are honest with what Scripture is and says, and addressing topical issues in Christianity in a postmodern context and post-colonial Caribbean landscape. Provocative, controversial, stimulating, and above all, openly honest. Every Tuesday at 2 to 3 p.m. right here on Real TV.
Honest to God, I'm coming clean. Honest to God.
The Ambassador's Daughter, weekdays at 11 a.m., only on Real TV.
3.2 million ways to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for giving us 3.2 million views on Real TV. Don't miss the action. Don't miss a beat. Make sure and follow us on every social media platform. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Even follow us on YouTube. Click that subscribe button. And of course, download the Tego app so that you carry us wherever you are. 3.2 million views and we're going higher. Make sure and be a part of the realest of all reels, Real TV.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional, international viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us. Today I'm in conversation with Meera Maraj. She's a single parent and she's also a mental wellness coach and educator. And you know, she's talking to us about life and situations, especially when it comes to our children. And, you know, we that point that I wanted to elaborate on just before the break with regards to understanding, yes, they've got minds of their own. Yes, we need to allow them to make decisions. We need to allow them to develop. We need to allow them to be able to express themselves. But how do we strike that balance? Because, as you said, your day or decisions revolve around her. She decides. However, reality is when she steps into the real world, she's not homeschooled anymore, she's not with mommy, like the real world, the work world, or the challenges that you face every day. How does she then cope and understand, well, not everything is my way, it's completely different, it's about balance?
Yeah, so she's, before I had the Mara House, I had Myra Media and I did marketing. And so she grew up with me inside conference rooms and in marketing meetings since she was little, and she knows how to interact, you know. But preparing for the real world, right? What is the real world is a question. And sometimes we use that to justify the harshness of the world that we live in. Yes, I understand reality is that we have to get up at certain times and go and do things, and she's part of that as well.
Discipline and balance.
Yeah, there's a balance, but you know, we're trying to also build a different world for them. And I would, you know, state that the world that we came from doesn't exist anymore. And we're preparing them for a world that we are not, you know, sure of with the advent of AI, with the way things are changing. I've had many discussions with parents that speak to, well, we're kind of educating them for a world that doesn't exist anymore. And so, you know, my preparation for her takes that into consideration. So we are doing skill stacking. She's already been doing business with me throughout. So she makes art, she sells art, she writes books. We are in the process of getting them published. You know, I teach her critical thinking, I teach her skills, the ability to work through things, to deal with people. So whatever world that she will end up in, she will be ready for because she has life skills, you know?
That's important. I think that, so you do strike that balance, and she has that part of it.
Yes.
Because the truth is, when they go, when we shelter them,
yeah,
or we try to keep them, I don't want to say in a bubble, but we want to have them in such a safe place that they are not exposed to the real world. And when they do go out there, how will they manage?
But that's a misconception around homeschooling.
That's when you have a lot of breakdowns, and that's when you have a lot of mental things coming in. And I think prevention is better than cure. I believe in striking a balance. I believe in talking to children, letting them know what life is. A simple thing as you might think, when do you talk to your children about sex or about rape or about which is reality? Because we live in a real world. We don't live in a bubble. You're correct. We don't live in the safe place that you and I came from. It's completely different. You're absolutely correct when you talk about this and AI. I mean, my daughter could Google anything and show there are things and techniques she would get on this phone and find from at home on the television, and she would search countries around the world. I am sometimes fascinated that at her age I was nowhere near there. And so reality is, at some point we need to be open, allow them to express themselves, but also nurture them and not let them go too far. You know what I mean?
And that's the balance, right? Because you're their guide, right?
Yes.
So you're giving them the tools.
Yeah.
You're giving.
Open, have conversations. You hear something in the radio topic. This happens many times with my daughter, and I don't turn it off or whatever.
No, we talk.
What do you think about that? What do you think about
And
that?
the ability to have those conversations is because you yourself are comfortable with it.
Girl, I remember Malika was about 3 years old. This was during the COVID time. And I was watching maybe Lifetime or something, and during the break there was a cake. It was supposed to be a wedding, but there were 2 women. And she pinpointed that, Mommy, you know, at that age, and she recognized things like that. And so she's very curious and inquisitive about things, and we see it on billboards and we see it everywhere. You know, and I talked to her about it. And I asked her, so what do you think about that?
And that is the question. Because when you are curious, curiosity is the cornerstone of being able to work with your children or even people. Many times we're judgmental, or we make judgments on people or even our kids based on where we come from. But if we are curious, then we're able to help them be that way and ask the right questions. We have lots of conversations about the real world, about what this world is built on. We also have conversations on what a better world can look like. And we've been having these since she was very little, because she spoke earlier. So I'm like, ooh, I wasn't ready for that one. But, you know, and I love the same, you know, when we're on drives, we go on drives a lot. We spend a lot of time outside, and because that's necessary. Mm-hmm. You know, those...
I think it's important.
Yeah.
It's really important to know your children.
Yeah.
I think it is very important that you have real conversations about real life. I think it is important, very important to say, I love you, I'm proud of you. But I am come from the old school, that if I'm disappointed in something, I'm not afraid to say it. I would say it to her. Yeah. What you did is not acceptable, and I'm very disappointed.
But because
I know you can do better,
right?
And I know you know better,
and you're not shaming her, right?
Think.
But you're not applying shame. You are stating what your emotions are. You're holding them, and you would have also given her that space, that she understands that mommy feels this way, but that doesn't mean I'm bad, because shame says that I'm bad. Right? And that's what we kind of put onto children. Mm-hmm. And even as adults, that's what we carry. We carry a lot of shame that if we do something wrong, then we're bad. And, you know, being able to express your emotions and hear theirs, that's where the emotional literacy comes in. That's where the capacity you're learning to manage yourself and, you know, work with yourself so you can work with your children. That's where it makes a difference, right?
First, work with yourself, right?
Yes.
I think as adults, we really need to realize where our weaknesses are. We need to take accountability, and it's always work in progress.
I think everybody should go to therapy, you know, like it's helpful.
Well, there's no manual to teach you to be a parent, so you're correct. If you are struggling, or you feel you're hitting a rock, or you're not getting through, then get intervention and get help.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
And it's like this, it's conversations rather than there's so much stigma around that.
Because sometimes we ourselves are holding on to so much hurt and so much pain, because we don't want our children to see us hurting.
Yeah.
You know,
and we hide.
We hide.
And we shouldn't.
It's true. We hide.
If you hide,
because
right?
we don't want them
to see
us cry. And I'll tell you a situation that happened to me on Friday.
Yeah.
And it was a simple thing that triggered me. We'd gone to the fair at the Center of Excellence. Coming back, I decided I wanted to step into the supermarket.
Yeah.
When we went to the supermarket, you know, the pastry and cake section, my daughter said to me, "Oh, Mommy, this is the cake that Papa loves." You will not believe the meltdown I had at the supermarket. I had to get myself together, get myself composed.
Yeah.
It was a simple thing.
Yeah.
It was a cake my father loved eating. And my daughter stepped up. She said, "Oh, Mommy, I'm really sorry." I said, "You don't have to be sorry, darling. You don't have to be sorry." And we both cried.
That's so good.
And in the supermarket, this is happening. We had a meltdown, but we did it together. And
thank you for sharing.
Life.
That's beautiful.
But it happens to the best of us unannounced. The simple things that would break you or take you back to a place.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got ourselves together, continued with our shopping on our way home in the car. We just started talking about my father. And we went home, we had a bath, and before bed, I said, "Malika, I want you to know that I really love you. And thank you for standing up with me. And thank you for being a strength for me." And she said, "Mommy, I heard too, you know, I miss my papa too." So we talked.
But where did she learn that from? Not you? Wasn't she modeled? That's the thing.
You know, my father would always say to me, and he said, "This child is so much like you when she was very small.
Yeah.
She reminds me so much of you."
And
the
I go,
apple will
yeah.
not fall far
And
from
it
the tree.
goes back to
Not
how
that
you
she
are.
or I are perfect. We're human beings.
Of
you know.
course.
I've enjoyed this conversation so much with you. I want to thank you, and I trust you and I can have other conversations so that together we could reach out to mothers like ourselves. We could be a strength, we could be an inspiration, we could share an idea, and so together we could all heal and learn and be better parents. That's what it's all about, making a difference.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you, and we'll chat really soon.
We will.
This is where we're going to wrap things up today on Conversations with Zelisa. Be the best that you can. Be as real as you can. Live life. I used to say to you, tomorrow is not promised. I take that back. The next minute is not promised. Breathe and always know the best is yet to come. More importantly, always be reminded that with God and only God, all things are possible. Thank you so much for choosing us. I am Zelisa Budu Singh Rupani. Be safe, be happy. See you tomorrow.
The views and opinions expressed in the preceding program were those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content was provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.